You're listening to Heels on the Diamond, presented by Heels on Franklin. If this episode hits the mark, do us a favor. Like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support keeps the podcast rolling. You can find all episodes on the Heels on Franklin YouTube channel and on Spotify. So whether you like watching or listening, we've got you covered. Let's get into it.
Welcome into the latest episode of Heels on the Diamond, presented by Heels on Franklin. My name is Chris Smith. I am one of the co-hosts of this amazing podcast. And as always, I am joined by my guy, the one and only, that probably chimmed his beard up before he got on.
I did.
Yeah, fresh, clean too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Andrew Force. Andrew, how we doing, my guy?
I'm good. Hey, we both leave for Omaha tomorrow.
Yes.
You're flying. Yes. I'm driving. But we'll make it and we'll be there together on Friday. So I'm pumped up.
Yes, sir. Let's go. My alarm is going off at 4 a.m.
Yeah, you got a red eye flight.
I know. And I've talked about it a little bit on the podcast, mental health, forward and focus. I get super OCD and anxious about things, overthinking them. And so I'm super nervous about missing my alarm, but also not getting enough sleep, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dude, what a game, bro. What a game in the Bosch. Me and you were able to sit beside each other. You and Trevor know each other through texting, podcasting. But, man, dude, and you got to sit with him, meet with him. I saw y'all bear hugging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man, dude, what a game, bro. What a game. I'm so pumped. We're going to Omaha, my guy.
For about 8 innings, I thought this is Arizona part 2. One game short of Omaha. We're gonna not get there again. And then, hey, first off, shout out Macon Winslow. He cut the deficit in half in the 8th. And then we'll talk about it in a minute. But man, just some amazing at bats there in the 9th by a few different guys.
I mean, the president of the Carter French Club is with us today.
My guy. Hey, when he got that hit, I looked at you and said, "That's my guy. That's my guy." Came through.
I got you, my guy.
And man, hey, look, the best part of that was when Forbes made the pitching change, right? Because he was in a 3-0 count. USC changes pitchers. Forbes calls him over. And my guy Carter French was as cool, calm, and collected as possible. He was smiling, pats Coach Forbes on the back. Then he goes and gives maybe the biggest hit of the season to set up the game-winning hit.
Yeah, one of the biggest. Before we get too much into it, though, I want to do my quick spill. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. It goes a long way in supporting this grassroots podcast, this grassroots movement of supporting Carolina athletics through Heels on Franklin. This is our staple show. Heels, you're tripping me up, my guy. Heels on the Diamond. Look, do us a favor. This is the Omaha preview show, so there is no reason why we shouldn't have numbers through the roof. Help us out. Share this, retweet this. If you're over on YouTube, let us know where you're listening from. Also, if you're over on Twitter, because we can't call it X over here, because we like to keep poking at Elon about having the worst social media app name ever, do us a favor, retweet this stream out. It goes a long way in supporting this. I at least want 200 live viewers by the time this show is over. So also be sure to like, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards, because we're freaking going to Omaha. Yep. And we are the only team in the country to do it 2 out of the past 3 years, right? So I'm super thankful for this ball club, super thankful for Coach Forbes saying no, right? Probably hanging up on South Carolina, little brother. They want to talk about their national championships that happened over a decade ago, just like Duke basketball.
Yep.
Over a decade ago. You would think the way that Duke talks that they have more national championships than we do in basketball. But anyway, this is a baseball show. So hopefully this will be the year that the Heels can get it done.
I'll say this too. We're so locked in,
bro,
that we've got, what are you, star shortstop, center fielder? What's your
center
position?
Fielder. Yeah.
We've got star center fielder Chris Smith here.
Yeah. So got somebody saying Vince Honeycutt. Nah, that's my boy, though. Me and him chatted the other night. You know what I'm saying? So he was wishing me well on the Diamond, up in Omaha. I'm actually Owen Hall's little brother. So
So
I'm
let
just
me
really
ask.
excited to be in Omaha, my guy.
Let
So
me
you
ask
like
you this.
interviewing me right now as a
I
Carolina baseball player?
I am. That's what we're doing. So,
Okay.
first question.
Okay,
You
hold
guys.
on. We gotta do it for real. All right, ready? Hold on.
Okay, let's go. Whoa, whoa,
So,
there we
how-
go.
how's everybody doing tonight? Today?
Joined here by UNC superstar, not just star, superstar Chris Smith, center fielder for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Chris,
Mhm.
let me ask you this: you guys flew into Omaha today,
That's right.
and I'm sure you got. I saw a video on Twitter earlier. The team was getting some gear, getting some swag. So, what did you get as part of your, I guess, Omaha gift bag?
Yeah. The best thing I like was the hand sanitizer that they got for us with the Omaha logo on it. I've been needing one of those for my backpack, slapping all the people's hands. You just don't want to catch any germs before a big game like this. So I was really pumped about this. Also got some fresh socks, you know what I'm saying? I like the socks
Nice.
that go up to the calves, I don't like the ones that go past my calves because I got really nice calves, my girl says anyway. So I like to keep it a
Oh,
little bit below the
okay,
calf. It's
okay.
got the Omaha logo and then it's trimmed in Carolina blue. So yeah, that's what I've been digging so far. I appreciate that question. First though, for any more other question, like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for getting me to this point. My mom and dad, and then my girl. She's been supporting me all the way. And I just want to slip this in out there. If you have any NIL hookups for me, you can hit up my agent Andrew.
Yep, yep.
I just don't really accept anything that's mustard based, barbecue or hot dogs.
Oh, that was my next question. What
No
have you been eating out
partnerships.
there in Omaha? Like, what have they fed you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. So us being from North Carolina, they had some pickings for us for our team. It's been really great how they've done it. You know what I'm saying? So like they gave every team the option to have two meals, kind of like where they're from. To kind of like
Nice.
still carry that homage of where we're from. So they gave us barbecue, and they did a team vote on mustard based barbecue or vinegar based, which like Eastern barbecue, and everybody voted like 30-0 for Eastern based barbecue. Because we
Well,
don't want that shit that's from the mustard. I'm sorry, I can't cuss, because Coach Forbes, he don't allow us to act like the SEC players, out there dropping bombs and
like those South Carolina guys.
flipping bats and stuff like that. We like to keep it classy.
So I'm guessing that you don't have any recommendations for a good hot dog spot out there in Omaha.
Nah, man, if you're looking for something like that, you just got to go all the way and be like a man and get the brat.
The brat. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not flying. I'm driving out tomorrow. So if you have any free time in between games, we may need to go find, either the best burger, the best hot dog, whatever they got in Omaha. I know I saw the other day that the hotel you're staying at, they're right down the street is Cornhusker Auto Wash. So if you got to get a car wash, hey, that's a good place to go.
Sounds like a great place, man. We got a really good hookup with the hotel. I'm super thankful. Like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the awesome bed they got me, and I'm just really thankful that I'm to be here. They got me rooming with Jason DeCara. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's like one of our best. He's like one of our best ever pitchers ever on the planet. So I do start right for Carolina, and I do play well, but DeCara's got a big job, so they kind of like got me being the Sherpa. Are you familiar with what a Sherpa is?
I am, yeah.
So like when get up, I'm to get his double shot frappe in the morning, like have that ready for him. I'm supposed to butter his toast, all that kind of stuff. Rub some gel on the shoulder. That's all I'm willing to do on that part.
Have you ever taken him deep in BP?
I'm afraid so. Yeah, just once. So yeah.
just once.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody that though. Just once. The other time, I just hit lasers, bro. I just be raking, to be honest.
Gap power.
There
we go.
Kind of like my boy Kane Kepler. I just hit for base. Get my own base percentage up.
Get on base, steal second, steal third, sack fly home.
Yep.
That's the way to do it.
Okay.
Wait, we appreciate you joining us tonight.
All right.
I'm excited to see you out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for getting us to this point.
Yeah.
Peace.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad we were joined by maybe one of the more arrogant players on the team. So I'm a bit surprised Forbes went and recruited a guy like that.
What's going on, Andrew? Sorry, man. I was a little late.
Hey, no worries. We just had a good interview. So glad you were able to join us.
Dude, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Dude, we're so corny, bro.
Listen, Chris, he was like, hey, before the show, we hopped on. Hey, I got this great idea. And this was, so if you thought it was corny, it's 100% Chris's idea. If you have no clue what we're talking about with barbecue, last night on Twitter, I guess yesterday morning on Twitter, Chris put out a tweet, quote tweeting me about my affinity for South Carolina mustard-based sauce over vinegar-based sauce. And I've been getting absolutely ratioed in the comments. I've been getting crushed. I'd say 95% of the people agree with Chris. And I've got a select few in my corner, but most people, I got asked yesterday, because of my barbecue takes, do I have CTE? And am I doing any illegal substances?
Dude, I have not seen those, man. I can't keep up with it, honestly. Look, I ratioed you so bad. I have people talking crap to me. They're like, well, South Carolina is not all mustard based. If you're going to have
has vinegar in it. Yeah.
If you have this debate, you need to get your facts straight. So I was like, Jesus, dude, calm down. All right. So it's been seen 75,000 times, 1.1 thousand likes, 62 retweets, and 290 comments. And like, to be honest, I felt bad about it because I did not mean for it to go to that level. So I shot you a text last night and said I was sorry.
Yeah, you apologize. It's okay.
Yeah, some dude was like trying to pop off at me, quote tweeting about what I just said, and I was like, dude, it's not that serious, bro.
My mom just texted me, your mom agrees with Chris. And I know she does. Look, I'll say this. A lot of people, they're not appreciated until, unfortunately, their time is on this earth is past. So my food takes, one day they'll be appreciated. One day. But I did, when the guy said, do you have CTE? I just responded, yeah. And then he left it at that. So, yeah, I had a little fun with that last night.
Well, good. I'm glad it didn't hurt your feelings too bad. I am thankful I was able to ratio you, though, just because that's such a horrible take. Also, having a hot dog as your last meal is a bad take. So, but anyway, dude, I'm stoked for Omaha. I'm stoked for tonight's show. A lot of good stuff that we're going to go over. We also got some awesome articles that we're going to be dropping. Of course, you're going to get your preview article. That's basically just our show notes put into sentence form with some few different graphics. Also, there will be some graphics that you don't see tonight in that article. And then also Rev, that you've been seeing on Twitter, also writing articles for us. I believe Rev used to be a college baseball coach. Am I right, Andrew?
I think so. Hey, whatever. He's been putting in work. I know that much.
Yeah, you can go check those out at hillsonfranklin.com. We've been doing the commit articles, going in about 3 paragraphs deep on those. And we got an article dropping from him sometime tomorrow, I believe it is, on 5 things Carolina needs to do to win it all, or not to do, or something like that.
5 keys. Let's put it that way.
5 keys.
Yeah.
5 keys. I can give you the 5 keys right now. Let's see here. Where's Rev's text? Rev hasn't texted me in a few hours. All right. 1, limit the big inning. We've only won 4 games where we gave up an inning of 3 or more. Number 2, attack mode from starters. Number 3, productive 6 through 9 hitters. Number 4 is continued defensive wizardry. I'd think of a proper title. Oh, that's him telling me he'll come up with a better title. And then number 5 is hitting with risk, runners in scoring position.
They were not very rispy this past weekend, but they were rispy when it mattered most.
Very not rispy.
Yeah, yes. That was frustrating up until 9th inning of game 3.
Also, Devin, appreciate Devin tapping in. She says, I can't even look at a hot dog anymore without thinking about the hot dog fiasco and just laughing immediately. I love it. Shout out to Daniel. Daniel, how you doing on YouTube? What's up, people? How are we doing tonight? We're doing great because we're going to Omaha. We got
Omaha.
Big K, of course. Appreciate you tapping in. Jeff's over here. Jason from Pennsylvania, friend of the podcast. Devin said that was an incredible skit. We appreciate you. Devin said that she is waiting on that hot dog review. Caleb says Grinder app helps locate the.
Oh, chill.
Sorry. I gotta read these before I put them on the screen. Jesus, Caleb, killing me, bro. Okay, all right. I think that's it. Oh, Big K says NBA Finals plus Hills on Franklin pre-Omaha show. What a time to be alive.
That's it.
Dorian says, been a while, guys. Maddie, what's going on? Maddie, if you are in a position right now where you want to hop on the podcast, I will send you the link and you can hop on with us right now. Okay.
Maddie was, I think, the first person I responded to after we won. And my first question was, hey, I need some food recommendations. So, because
right.
If you don't know, if you weren't on the show when she was on with us, she is from Nebraska. She's been in the College World Series multiple times. So if you're going, Maddie on Twitter, she's one to reach out to for any recommendations you need.
Also, Caleb says, my bad. Yeah. So Maddie, shoot me a text. If you're available, want to hop on the pod tonight, I will get you that link. All right. Well, let's tap in, man. Let's first start. Let's do this rather pretty quick.
Okay.
Super regional takeaways other than we won. Pretty crushing loss there. Game 1, lost to USC, which is the real USC, I guess you could say, 5-9.
Yep.
And then game 2 defeated USC 4-0, and then game 3 defeated USC 4-3. So let's kind of do it like we did last time. Andrew, give me a few takeaways from super regionals. A lot to take away.
Yeah, so number 1 was the starting pitching. I mean, all three guys, even Lynch, I know they lost that game 1, but even Lynch was good. I mean, really good. Carolina, that game was tough. I went home kind of dejected, kind of really down, not because they necessarily lost, but because of how they lost game 1. I mean, me and you were sitting there, 4th, 5th inning, talking about potential Omaha plans. And then next thing I know, a 248 hitter hits a grand slam, and we're down 6-5, and it just kind of spiraled from there. So that was tough, but obviously you got Jason DeCaro game 2.
Well, Andrew, can I add to that?
Yeah.
I think, when you look at the grand slam, to me, what I would like to highlight mostly is we talk about it on our show all the time, that's baseball. Anything can happen in the game of baseball. We're part of certain groups, or we know certain people, or we pinpointed people that crash out every post-game loss, right? And they don't quite, from my view, don't understand fully the game of baseball. And what I mean by that grand slam, was it supposed to happen? No. But all it did, and I haven't done the research, I don't know what pitch it was. I don't remember. Was it a slider hung over? I mean, a changeup or a fastball, a meatball per se, whatever it was. It just took one of our dominant pitchers throwing one bad ball to a 248 hitter, I think you said it was, and bam, grand slam, all the momentum shifts. Just like you have McDuffie, right? Comes in a situation like that where you're expecting him to continue his ways of just shutting down all the batters that he sees, and it doesn't happen, right? So I think that's my biggest takeaway, is trying to hopefully help people understand that's baseball. If we go out to Omaha and we struggle in game 1, that doesn't mean that it's over, right? Does that decrease our chances? Yeah, that decreases our chances, but that doesn't mean you start crashing out, right? It's the game of baseball. It happens.
Yeah, and look, we've talked about it before, about how it seems like anytime there's a loss, whether it's regular season. Sorry, I'm trying to get my wife in here. My laptop, I realize, isn't charging, so I got to get it charged here in a second. But no, it seems like every season, when Carolina loses a game, there's a select, luckily it's a small group, but there's a select handful of people on Twitter who, for whatever reason, just lose their mind. Forbes is overrated. Fire Forbes. He doesn't know what he's doing. And there's a reason why South Carolina wanted Scott Forbes so badly, because he's a heck of a coach, right? And so, yeah, we got to stop overreacting. Obviously, you don't want to lose game 1 of a super. You want to win game 1, win game 2, not worry about game 3. But like you said, that's baseball. It doesn't always go that way.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. All right. Well, keep trucking, Andrew.
Yeah. So, like I said, starting pitching was incredible. Obviously, Jason Nickera is going to get all the love and attention, as he should. Game 2, when really you needed to potentially save Caden Glauber for a game 3. You needed to potentially save Walker McDuffie. 9 innings pitched, complete game shutout, 2 hits, only walks 1, does not let a single USC batter get to second base. Best game of probably his career, definitely his Carolina career. And then you had in game 3, Caden Glauber, third start of the season, obviously the biggest moment of the season. And he had a couple homers happen, but for the most part, he was lights out, 11 strikeouts. And over the weekend, the 3 starters combined for 22 innings pitched, only 7 earned runs, 14 hits, 26 strikeouts. But this was key right here. Only 2 walks from the starters all weekend long. I mean, look, we've talked on the pod before how this pitching staff, as good as they are, walks is sometimes a bit of an issue. 2 walks from your starting rotation on the weekend. You couldn't ask for a better weekend for those 3 guys.
Yeah, totally. To Dorian's comment right here, definitely surprised, about Duffy in that situation. However, Big K comes back with a good comment, slider, but it doesn't matter. 100, I want McDuffie in that position. Me too.
Oh, yeah. And I'll say this. I don't mean to interrupt. So my mom ran into Walker McDuffie's mom.
Yes.
There before game 2.
I'm glad we're commenting on this.
Yeah, in line at the bathroom. And got to talk, and she said that same thing. She said, look, that's the guy you want every time. Like, it was the right decision. And she said, I don't want to get too personal, but she said that Walker McDuffie's mom was rightfully so pretty emotional. And I'm not going to say what was told to her, but on social media, let's just say she got some vile, disgusting, despicable messages. And if you're someone and you call yourself a fan, and then when something doesn't go right, the first thing you want to do is find that player or find that player's family and message them something absolutely despicable, don't ever turn on a game again. Don't ever go to a game again. In fact, just shut down your social media accounts. And I guarantee you it was probably someone who doesn't have a profile picture, or they don't have their real name associated with it, and they think they're some tough keyboard warrior, and they're going to say some despicable things. If you're going to say it with your chest. Be a man or a woman about it, and say it. Don't hide behind a screen or a fake profile picture and try to be this tough guy or tough person, right? So I'm sorry to her. If this ever reaches her, I'm sorry. There's some despicable people out there that say some disgusting, awful things to you and your son. We love Walker McDuffie. That was the right move, to go to him or one of your top relievers. And we're sorry you had to deal with that crap.
Yep. I love Rev's comment here. Fans who tweet and send messages to players and their family are insecure little losers.
Yep.
Jeff, better yet, find me in 107 at the Bosch and say it to me.
There you go. Dude, I'm not playing with Jeff. So, yeah, that's not a guy I want to, get on his bad side.
Yeah, and you and I think actually, was it you and I or Trevor? Was I sitting beside you or was I sitting beside Trevor?
Trevor was in the middle, and then so he was next to you.
Yeah, and I know that Jeff had a couple of issues in his section with people, or maybe 1 or 2 didn't like that he was standing up and cheering and that kind of thing. And from our distance, it looked like he was having like a conversation with some people behind him. And I would like turn to Trevor and I was like, Jeff is not a person that I want to like try to have an issue with.
No.
Because there's this thing called man strength. And if anybody has, or grown man strength, if anybody has grown man strength times 3, it's Jeff.
Him. Yeah.
Also, you just don't try to have conflict with somebody that's that confident to wear a beard like he wears his beard.
Yeah. And rocks it well.
And rocks it well. Like, that's just a bad move.
Yeah. And my thing is this too, like, I think it's dumb to ask somebody to sit down at a midweek game. But it's even more dumb to be like, hey, can you sit down? Can you like not be so loud at a super regional game with a trip to Omaha on the line? If you're that worried about not being able to see and you have to stand up to see or somebody being too loud, watch from home. You know, I want so badly to get rid of the wine and cheese moniker. So
Yeah,
we need
same.
more. We need a million more Jeffs, because I'll be honest. By that ninth inning, the eighth inning, ninth inning, when Carolina, rallied in game 3, the crowd played. I guarantee you, the crowd played a role in that. 'Cause they
For
were
sure.
loud.
Jeff told me straight up that some of the baseball players that he talks with and knows afterwards told him that the noise that they created in the stadium and was a part of, like, because he's the one that kind of starts the tar chant, right?
Yeah.
Tar Heel chant. Like, him and his section start that. Usually first led by him. And they know him for that. Like, Jeff's so famous now, he's got fans wanting to take pictures with him after the game.
He is famous. He is.
Which is kind of cool, right? Or I shouldn't say famous, but such a big of a supporter, right? So that he had people say that he had players tell him specifically that the noise that we created in the Bosch throughout the 8th and the 9th played a role in USC not being able to effectively communicate for the pitching and threw their pitchers off, because they told USC baseball told that apparently to Carolina staff or something.
Yeah. And look, I love the Bosch, but it's not the biggest ballpark. So you got to be loud, because it doesn't have as many people as an Auburn or a Georgia or a place like that. So the louder, the better. The louder, the better.
Yep. Totally. Let's talk about Rispy. Not feeling very Rispy. So frustrating. You and I were sitting beside each other Friday. Was it Friday?
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, right? Yeah. Friday and Saturday, and then your mom, Patty. Miss Patty.
With the P.
I texted Andrew last night, which I'm meeting Andrew and his mom, and we're trying to save money. And this might be weird to people, but we're all staying in one freaking room because Omaha prices during this time are, for the birds, freaking $500 for a room. So we got 2 queen beds and an air mattress, and we're making it work because we're diehards.
Yep.
So I texted Andrew last night. I was like, dude, I've always just said, and like we've sat beside each other so many times this year, right? And hugging your mom and saying hey, I always just say, hey, Andrew's mom. And
you do, but I've never even realized. Like, it's never clicked that you don't know her name. Or
so I texted you last night and said, bro, like, I don't even know your mom's name, and I'm about to spend 7 days with her.
Yeah.
He's like,
you know her name.
Patty. Yeah. Let's go, Patty.
Hey, she was, I'm telling you, you talk about diehard fan. She was crying literal, like not even, this is not hyperbole, crying real literal tears of joy after the walk-off in game 3. I love it. And I texted you later. She's my ride or die. Like, when we go to games, that's who I go to games with. I refuse to watch, like, Duke Carolina basketball. I refuse to watch it with anybody else. Like, I'm at her house screaming at the TV. We've been, all over the country, going to football games, basketball games, baseball games. So yeah, that's my ride or die when it comes to, she gets how dedicated I am. And she's probably one of the few that understands and is right there with me.
Yeah, Dorian says, UT fans were making fun of the Bosch. Man got eliminated first out of the whole NCAA tournament. Yeah. Rev says, awesome. Devin says, better start saving up now for my trip to Omaha next year.
Hey, I'm telling you, that the way we're doing it, if you can get a room and you can split the cost, it's much easier.
Driving's for the birds, though. I'll say that.
Well, hey, I'm a road trip guy. I like me a good road trip.
I mean, my reason. You can see it on the screen.
Oh, yeah. There. Oh, yeah. You have a legit reason.
Like, I would not be fun to be around after 18 hours in a car for my neck.
I'd be kicking you out. You gotta hitchhike the rest of the way.
Also, I have a small bladder, but that's for another conversation. All right, not feeling very Rispy. You and I were sitting beside each other Friday and Saturday, but mostly Friday. And was it Saturday too?
Friday, Saturday, And then Trevor was there on Sunday.
Yeah. So, I mean, runners in scoring position, like if we are going to have a chance in Omaha, we have got to figure out how to improve with risk. We do, Andrew. Let's talk about it. Not feeling very risky. It's somewhat been an issue throughout the year, on and off, but definitely the super regional. Man, it was so frustrating. Bases loaded, bases loaded. You have a note here that says UNC was 2 of 25 with riffs and had left 28 runners on base over the past 3 games.
Yeah, up until Owen Hull's double. Again, like you said, 2 for 25 with runners in scoring position. And it started in game 1. I mean, it started there. And I get it. Mason Edwards was on the bump for USC. Again, I think he's the best pitcher in college baseball this year. But you get bases loaded, no outs.
Who's best pitcher?
I think Mason Edwards. I do. I think he's the best. Top 3 or 4. But he gets
Careful now. You've had some bad takes lately.
Hey, but my sports takes are usually pretty good. My bad takes are my food takes, so it's okay. But yeah, he gets in a big pile of trouble there in the first inning. Bases loaded, no outs. Carolina has all the momentum, and then I know he struck out 2, and then I think he got like a pop up or a fly ball to get the 3rd out, and so it really started early, and it was a thing the whole weekend. Very similar to the Clemson series earlier in the year, where it seemed like, no matter what the situation, Carolina had a guy on 2nd or 3rd, less than 1 out or less than 2 outs. They just couldn't get him across. But then finally, 8th and 9th inning of game 3, they started feeling a little rispy. So finally, was a little late, would have been nicer earlier, but they finally got rispy there late.
I know. And Big K said it perfectly. They said Big K said they showed Jeff on the TV, I think in the 8th or 9th inning, and he knew some Bosch magic was about to happen.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, man, 7th, 8th, and then just the way we were hitting the ball, I didn't think it was going to happen. If I'm being completely honest,
I agree.
People do, they tweet out or they say, never a doubt. That's BS, bro. Like,
no, I was doubting. I was doubting big time. In fact, I actually looked over at my mom at one point and was like, I think we're done. Like, this is Arizona 2.0. We're going to fall 1 game short. They were pressing. I mean, they're swinging at a lot of first pitches. And we've talked before, Carolina baseball is its best when they're working counts, fouling off a lot of pitches, sitting, kind of taking, being patient. But they have those moments that usually last, a couple games where they're swinging first pitch, they're not taking, they're not being patient at the plate, they're getting under balls and popping balls up left and right. And that was the case for about 2.5 games till the very end.
Yep. Super frustrating. Rev says they're due. What do you think? Because when you get to Omaha, you've got to, yes, you have to have dominant pitching, but what it feels like, it comes down to a lot of the times the ones that get hot.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've seen teams who made it to Omaha who probably weren't one of the best teams there in the 8-team field, like a Michigan back, a few years ago, and they make it all the way to the final. We've seen Fresno State make it and win a College World Series as a 4 seed, right? So we see it time and time again. It's who's playing good baseball and who's hot and who comes in, playing their game and playing confident baseball. Also,
I think Fresno State potentially was the only team, I think, that lost a game. Somebody could research this, and I could be wrong, but they lost quite a bit of games to get to the championship game. I think they lost 1 in the region, 1 in the super. I think they lost, and they clawed themselves all the way back out of the losers bracket in Omaha, and then I think they also dropped 1 game in the championship. With me, or did you freeze? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Andrew, dude. Sorry, guys. I think Andrew is frozen. Got a little timeout here, fellas. Let me see if I can get Andrew back on. Yeah, he's frozen. Let me give him a call real quick. You know what? I bet he didn't get his computer charged. Y'all give me 1 second. Sorry. All right, friends. Andrew's computer died. What a rookie mistake, yo. All right. Well, he is going to be hopping on in a minute. What y'all want to talk about? Because I don't want to miss out on any of his good takes. Let's Maddie, Reb, Dorian, Big K. Let's talk about how do you win in Omaha? Small ball, in my opinion, it's a pitcher's park. Pitcher's park. And I think Carolina baseball this year is tailor-made, just how their offenses makeup is, the pitching, tailor-made for potentially bringing home the trophy for the first time. Maddie says small ball wins in Omaha. Rev's joking on Andrew a little bit for freezing. And Rev says, let's see here, USC couldn't walk it off. Yep. Come on, Andrew. Where are we at? That is true. Rev, talk to me a little bit about that. Ole Miss will have the biggest park adjustment. UNC not reliant on the homer because we don't hit them. That's true. Actually, we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. Let's see. Andrew has that in his notes. Let's see if I can find it. Yes, Ole Miss has hit 107 home runs on the season to UNC's 80. However, UNC has a better slugging percentage, so for sure. Troy says, I think this is our best shot. There's some solid teams in Omaha, but I like the Heels' chances. Rev says, just talk about the transfers. Yes, I totally agree with Troy. I was talking about this with some people the other day. Since Sunday, right? And Rev, you keep distracting me. I was talking to some people the other day. When they find out I'm going to Omaha, or they know I cover UNC baseball through this podcast, and they were like, what do you think Carolina's chances are in Omaha? So I'm always very reluctant to give those types of answers because, like I talked about earlier, the game of baseball, right? Like, I feel like baseball, man, one thing can happen and it can change everything, right? Like, I feel like in football and basketball, there's a lot more room for mistakes or errors to occur, and you have a little bit of better chance for making them up, right? But when it comes to baseball, like we saw this past weekend, you have a 248 hitter on base, and you have a guy come up right and just hit a grand slam, right? Like, that's the game of baseball. It just takes your best pitcher to leave one ball hanging. It was a slider, Big K said, and you're done. And so I feel like, so Andrew's back with me. What a rookie mistake that was, Andrew.
No, I got to defend myself, and I know my lighting's off now, and I'll tell you why. So the laptop I normally use, I think the charger's gone bad because I plugged that thing into three different plugs, and it stopped. It won't charge. So I literally had to take my webcam, my mic, completely switch computers, which is in a different part of the room. So now my background looks weird. So yeah, I'm blaming the laptop because I had to completely change computers, but I'm back.
All right.
I apologize. That's not the professionalism that we expect here.
So do you want to plug the conversation I was having till later, which was Troy said, I think this is our best shot. There's some solid teams in Omaha, but I like the Heels' chances. I think we can go to that real soon. I just really want to quick cover our last third point here that we were going to talk about, which, for our takeaways.
Yeah. So my third takeaway, now that I am back, is they never quit. I mean, you look at that ninth inning; those were some of the best at bats we've seen all season, if not the best. It starts out rough. There's a first pitch ground out, and I'll be honest, first pitch ground out, I'm like, man, this is it. Like, season's over right here. Then Cooper Nicholson comes up to bat. First pitch strike. Second pitch, he hits an absolute bomb. And I thought for sure, like, when that left his bat, the excitement that hit me, I was like, that's it. Like, we're about to tie this thing up, or we're about to, tie this thing up. And the wind blew it foul. The wind at that moment was blowing pretty hard in the Bosch. It blew it foul. So here he is, 0-2 count. And he takes some tough pitches and ends up working a walk, gets on base. Then Carter French gets a huge single, and with a 3-2 count. If you go back, I've watched the ninth inning twice on YouTube. And if you go back and watch that, so 3-0 count, USC changes pitchers. New guy comes in, and he's hitting the bottom of the strike zone. He hits, they were borderline. I thought one of them was definitely a ball, but he throws two pitches to the exact same spot. And it's almost like Carter French knew he was about to hit that spot again. And he went low, sent it right in the gap, gets Nicholson to third. Schaffner comes up, first pitch, sees one he likes, deep fly ball, scores the run. And then Owen Hull, again, and I think it was a 2-strike count. It might have been 1-strike count, but does what Owen Hull does and hits it to the gap. Carolina walks off the win. Or walks off the game. So just no quitting this team, no matter what the situation. We've seen it time and time again where this team finds a way, and hey, it paid off.
Yeah. Good stuff, Andrew. Let's go ahead and go back to this conversation really quick. I think this is our best shot. There's some solid teams in Omaha, but I like the Heels' chances. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. That's kind of what I was getting to before Andrew jumped back on. I did have a question about this. You jumped back on and said pitching has been our biggest question. I don't know what that means. Was that something I had said? Maybe I
think he's saying like that's been our biggest question mark in years past. Like, maybe in previous College World Series teams, the hitting has been kind of the calling card, and the pitching has struggled. And that was kind of the case in 2024. I mean, you had some good pitchers. You had DeCaro, but Boaz had an injury. Shea Sprague had to step in 2024 and be that number 3 guy. So this year, for sure, at least compared to the last couple Omaha trips, this year's team, that pitching is a strength and not a question mark. That's
well, I don't know though. Like, going back to last year, I don't know if that's completely fair to bypass last year's pitching staff.
Oh yeah, last year's was fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think last year's pitching was just as good as this year's.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't looked at the statistics, but in my opinion, give me last year's starting 3 over this year's starting 3.
I won't necessarily disagree with that. You had Jake Knapp. I mean, national pitcher of the year?
Yep, that's why I say that. Didn't you already still have Jason DeCaro, and then
you had DeCaro,
and then give me Lynch as a day 3 over Boaz.
Yeah, and even
I'm not saying you put him day 3. I'm just saying as a third option over Boaz. I like that starting 3 better than what we have this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're spot on. But I think compared to maybe the 2024 team or some of these teams that made it back in the 2010s, I do think while the pitching wasn't necessarily bad, it wasn't the strength of the team. And then this year, the pitching is, I mean, that's been the calling card all season long.
I actually thought we had a good chance if we got into Omaha last year. I think this was a team that was hot and was playing well and just fell short due to a Jackson Vanderbrink error that he has made multiple times, but an error that he has potentially never made.
Yeah, right? Play that he makes 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before on the show. The 2024 team was good, but I thought last year's team was better. And I think this year's team's better than the last two. But I will agree. I think that the starting three last year was just maybe a step above this year starting. And that's no knock on them because both are fantastic. But I did see Jake Knapp after the game. You know, he's unfortunately hurt right now. So he's back in Chapel Hill. You talk about a big guy. I mean, I knew he was big, but I'd never seen, you know, I'd seen him on the mound, but I'd never like stood near him. And Jake Knapp is an absolute mammoth of a man.
Yeah, I mean, he also had an amazing journey to get to National Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah. His story is fantastic.
Cool. All right, well, that was a good little conversation there. Andrew, let's skip your MVPs if that's okay. If you want to go see our MVPs from the from Super Regionals there, you can go and check it out at hillsonfranklin.com. We got it there, and that article actually metrically analytics has been seen a lot of times. So
there you go.
Good job there, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, look, the Tar Heels are Omaha bound. Let's do our Ole Miss overview and history. So we're going to do a deep dive tonight on Ole Miss overview, history, coach, like we do every time. I don't know of another entity that goes as deep as we do.
Oh, there isn't one.
And that's cool. But we're going to also give you two key players. Is it 2 or 3, Andrew? Two key players for Omaha. And then we are going to talk briefly about Troy and West Virginia. First, let me start off with this question, Andrew. I love this bracket on the side of the bracket that we are on, bracket 1 compared to bracket 2.
Yeah, yes.
So, which I'm very surprised them putting 3 SEC teams on one side of the bracket. I was very surprised with that. So I like bracket 1. Stephen Blackley says starting 3 has changed. So maybe he's talking about day 3. I think that potentially was for that scenario, right? Make or break game 3, right? With Glauber starting. I think you may potentially see Glauber start another game depending on how far we make it. But I mean, the recipe for success this year is DeCaro and then Glauber when you need them, right? Because you don't have those types of performances very often that DeCaro had, right?
I mean that's probably a one-time thing.
Yeah. So anyway,
before we hop into Ole Miss, I did like if you listen to the post game with Forbes and DeCaro after that. Somebody, I think it was Shelby Swanson, who's fantastic. Mm-hmm. She asked him, like, have you ever had a complete game before? Like a complete game shutout? And he goes, yeah, I had one earlier this year, ECU. And Forbes piped in. He was like, that was 8 innings because that was a run rule win. And so Forbes was quick to say, hey, that was not a full 9-game complete game shutout. He goes, hey, it's in the rule book. It still counts. So he's right.
I think this is actually an East Carolina fan.
It is. I've seen him on the old Twitters.
Love it. I love it. Hey, Hill's headed to Omaha. Troy, somebody said that Troy has a more successful baseball program than East Carolina now because they finally made it to Omaha. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, that's a joke. I didn't say that. I'm saying that I saw someone say that.
You know, I'll defend my guy Cliff Godwin.
Yeah. Of course, that was a burner making that. So anyway, they comment. Wow. No shade. Look, I think the sport of baseball in North Carolina is good when East Carolina baseball is good. I got a ton of respect for what they have built there and what they're continuing to build there. If you've never been to a game at East Carolina, you need to get the one. They're doing some renovations too there, which I think it's in left field. I think it's in left field from the picture I saw. Yeah.
The jungle.
Yeah. And Troy says, speaking of Forbes, we have to give him a tip of the cap, all-time Tar Heel. Yes. South Carolina thought they were going to come in and swoop him away. I saw someone say that, like, why would, like, that called us a minor league team compared to them. But anyway.
I saw Jaden respond to that, and He was spot on with everything he said. So Jaden, Hills on the Hardwood. Give it a watch.
Yep. All right. So are we ready to actually dive into Ole Miss?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Take it away, my guy.
All right. Ole Miss from the Southeastern Conference. Head coach Mike Bianco. I did not realize that Mike Bianco has been at Ole Miss as long as he has. 26 season at Ole Miss. Before that, he was at McNeese State for 3 seasons. He has won over 1,000 games, almost 1,100.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
they better build a statue for him.
Yeah, it should already be built. I mean, that's like, I need to go back and look. I don't know how many games Mike Fox won, but I know he was in Chapel Hill for a long time. This is, I guess, their version of Mike Fox, and hopefully Forbes at some point. But in his 26 seasons at Ole Miss, he has led them to the tournament 20 times. They've reached the Super Regional stage 9 times, and this is their 3rd trip under Bianco to the College World Series. And they won the title back in 2022. If you remember that 2022 team, they were a bubble team for much of the year. They were one of the last 4 teams in. They made it to Omaha and won the whole thing. So Bianco has a title under his belt. So now it's time for him to let Carolina have one. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, Fox retired as the winningest coach in Carolina baseball history with a record of 948 to 406 and 1 tie. Forbes also has a 1 tie. 700 winning percentage there, and also I think won an average of 44 games a year.
So Fox only lost, you said 406 games?
Yeah.
And won almost 950?
Yep.
That's crazy. 44, an average of 44 games a year. But hey, look, Mike Fox got the same treatment that Forbes gets now. That, when they lose a game, Fox isn't the guy. I mean, I remember for years seeing people, anytime Carolina would get knocked out of the tournament, we need to move on from Fox. He can't get the job done. He chokes in the postseason. You gotta appreciate what you have. We have Mike Fox, legendary coach, and we've now gone to Scott Forbes, who is well on that path to potentially having a statue outside of the Bosch, like Mike Fox should have someday.
Yeah. Also, you got to say his head coaching record there for Mike Fox is 1,487 to 547 in 5 ties.
That's good.
Super good.
Very good.
Super good.
So yeah, this is their version of Mike Fox. Great coach.
All right, well, let's talk about head-to-head. I was surprised by this.
Yeah. So
we have the opportunity. We have the opportunity now as Carolina baseball to redirect history here. 0-4 history tells us for Carolina versus Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Potentially we can make it. Add 1 win to that coming up. What you think, Andrew?
Hey, the last time they played was 1969. So I'd say 90% of our listeners were not alive back then. I know my mom was. Shout out her. But she was a child back then, so I'm sure she doesn't remember it. I think she was still living in Texas at the time.
Shout out to Patty.
Yeah, shout out to Patty. So, yeah, last matchup was in 1969. Carolina is 0-4. This will be the first time ever that Carolina and Ole Miss meet in the postseason. And I was thinking the other day, trying to think back to, have we met Ole Miss previously in other sports in the postseason? And I forgot, a couple years ago. Was it last year maybe? Yeah, it was last year because Carolina in basketball made the first 4 the first 4 games in Dayton, and then lost a tough one to Ole Miss. So baseball needs to pay the favor back.
Yeah, we got some work to do. Ole Miss this season. I want us to be careful though too, because when you read these numbers, they don't really like scare you, right? But if you look at the team of Ole Miss in postseason play, they're a team right now that's hot.
Yeah.
But
very
overall,
similar to a West Virginia or a Troy, just playing good baseball right now.
Yeah, playing good baseball, which a lot of times winning in Omaha is getting hot at the right time. Yeah. So, right now, 41-21, 4-4 neutral, and 16-17 in quad 1, which I believe going back to the USC series, USC series had a a losing record away and a losing record in quad one as well.
Yeah, I think they were like 15-16 away, and then quad one they were like 4-11 or 3-10. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, and so I mean, if you kind of look at it, yes, we did a lot of complaining early on, or maybe not complaining is the right word, but calling out like, hey, this seems like a little bit of a unfair regional, right? The region of death, I guess you could say, of what the national pundits kind of called it, even though Paulie was like, hey, we thought it was a regional death for everybody else, but which was a fantastic all-timer,
great quote,
great line ever. Like, that should be a shirt.
Yeah.
The regional of death for everybody else.
NIL for Paulie.
NIL for Paulie. Love it. Love it. But I mean, statistically, USC and then also being on the side of bracket one is trending really well for Carolina to make it to that final three games.
Yeah.
Or final two.
West Virginia's playing well, but you've got kind of the Cinderella story in Troy. West Virginia, they're a 1 seed, but they were the last host, right? They were the 16th seed. And you got Ole Miss, who's a 2 seed. And again, I'm not saying this is going to be easy, right? But
no,
it wouldn't shock me if Carolina, they could go 0-2. And I wouldn't tell you, oh, yeah, I'm surprised by that. They could go 2-0, 3-0 on this side. And I wouldn't tell you I'm surprised. You would be surprised?
If we go 0-2, yes.
It wouldn't shock me. Nothing would shock me once you get to Omaha.
Yes, but what I will say this. Yes, we are a player first podcast, right? We say that for all our shows. If we go 0-2 in Omaha, that is a super big disappointment. This team is too good to go 0-2, but it goes back to it's the game of baseball.
Especially with how much money we're spending to go to Omaha. I don't want to go 0-2, right? I need hey, I'm going to 3 games. Or assuming they don't go 0-2, I'm going to 3 games. And I'd like to come back to North Carolina with, my belly full of hot dogs and a 3-0 undefeated record in Omaha, and then catch the finals back home. And on Father's Day, potentially win a national championship.
Yeah, definitely after I got the email today that did not get approved for Rams Club.
Yes, we gotta go secondary.
Season tickets. We gotta go secondary, which I don't know.
Hey, I've been watching there. The price is dropping. It's not as much as it was when I checked 2 days ago.
I had the hotel and all that stuff, so that's your job. I just wish there was a better way to do postseason tickets and stuff like that, because I don't think it's completely fair. Like, even myself, like being a season ticket holder for 4 sports, right? Like,
I thought you were a shoe-in.
My points are adding up, but it comes down to the big wigs. They have so much money and so much points over time that they get the tickets, right? They get shoot in. It's got to be something else. Something else has got to happen to make everyday people that are fans, or people like us that are fans and podcasters or covers, not that we're special or anything, just normal people, right? Give them the opportunity to also reap the benefit of $50 tickets to go to Omaha versus spending $150 right now on Ticketmaster.
Well, I think that the fact that you could request 8, to me, that's a bit extreme. I think that should be step one. Cut it to you can request no more than 4, and I think that would help. But hey, who am I?
I was so pissed, dude, earlier today.
Oh, I'm sure. I assumed you were a shoe-in to get them, because I consider you a big wig. In my heart, you're a big wig.
Okay,
you're important. You're very important.
Okay.
So hey,
I will tell you this: if I ever become a big wig, Carolina softball is gonna have a digital board.
Yeah, that's number one. Well, for me, in my it's Roy Williams, Scott Forbes, Bubba Cunningham, and Steve Newmark, and then you're right there. You're like, and who's most important to the Carolina fan base? You're number 4.
Yeah, we got some ECU fan support. Love it.
Hey, we'll take it.
We'll take it. All right, Ole Miss this season. Finish off that last part in the SEC for me.
Yeah, so in the SEC, they are 15-15, so 500. They were a 2 seed in the Lincoln Regional. That is also in the state of Nebraska. I think it's a couple hours away from Omaha. But then they swept the regional, just like Carolina did. They went 3-0. They beat Arizona State twice and Nebraska once. And then they swept Auburn, won 2 games in the Super Regional at Auburn. I know Devin also likes Auburn.
Sorry, Devin.
I'm sorry for that. I actually was pulling for Auburn. And the reason why is I thought Auburn was a better matchup for Carolina because I don't think Auburn's pitching is as good as what Ole Miss's pitching's been lately. Either way, it was going to be a tough one, but I was actually pulling for Auburn, but they beat Auburn, and that's how they made it to Omaha.
Gotta go to Auburn Stadium. Did you see that?
Dude, it is
TV. They have a green monster that has seats on top.
Yeah, that ballpark, out of all the ones I watched over this weekend, and I'm obviously biased for the Bosch. I think Bosch is amazing, but Auburn's ballpark looked phenomenal. I think we talked a little bit on Sunday, or I might have texted to you. I got a bone to pick with the University of Texas. They make they're one of the most profitable college programs in the entire country. And they're out there on a turf baseball field. And they can't even get like brown turf to be the infield. It was just like grass with the line in the middle. It was like turf with the line. It was awful. Their ballpark out of all the ones I saw this weekend was the worst. Next to the Bosch, I would say Auburn's was definitely the best.
Yeah. Rev says also Devin has way too much love to give out. She all in on Hills and Auburn. I think she's also got some BYU love in there too.
Yeah.
I think.
And she's always hopping on podcasts for all 3 teams. So that's true support for all 3, right?
I mean, her son was in a championship and was tuning in live to Hills on the Diamond.
Yeah.
Let's talk about team rankings. Hope you guys love these graphics, by the way.
Yeah. So Ole Miss, very similar to a Tennessee team.
Yep.
Carolina didn't play them, but it was in Carolina's regional. They don't score a ton of runs. And when they do score, it's usually by the home run. But 120th nationally in runs per game. On base percentage is even worse, 127th in the country. They only get on base at a 385 clip. Batting average, I'll be honest, when I looked this up, and I think my guy Sam actually messaged this to me on Twitter after the USC game. And when I went and was doing a deep dive for the notes, I was like, man, Sam was right. 230th nationally batting average, 264. So, again, it's a team very similar to Tennessee, boom or bust. They don't have a lot of doubles. Their highest their average on the team, that the highest batting average is 312. Only 2 guys hit over 300. They've got 107 homers on the year compared to only 80 for Carolina. But Carolina still has a higher slugging percentage, right? And Ole Miss does not hit a lot of doubles. They've hit only 1 triple on the season. And where I think this is huge, we've already discussed, Carolina's pitching staff it's kind of its calling card. That's the strength. But on top of that, the field in Omaha is a pitcher's ballpark. The teams who win in Omaha may not hit a ton of homers, but they've shown that gap power. They're getting it to the gap. And so this may be a matchup, just because of Carolina's pitching, but also because of the layout of the field. What is it, Charles Schwab?
Mm-hmm.
The layout of Charles Schwab Stadium, ballpark, whatever, is a ballpark where you got to have good gap power. And I really don't think Ole Miss has good gap power. So that may play into Carolina's favor.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, definitely a pitcher's ballpark for sure. So I think that tends to bow towards our way here a little bit there in favoritism. Want to say you're tapped into Hills on the Diamond presented by Hills on Franklin. I'm Chris. Got my guy Andrew here, which is kind of like our lead analyst here for Carolina baseball. Want to say this too. We got 13 watching over on YouTube and 369 people tapped in all together. So we appreciate everybody. If you're just tapped in now, do us a favor. Whatever platform you're listening on, be sure you are following or subscribed. So if you are following over on Twitter, be sure you're following whatever account you're listening to so you can keep up with all things Carolina baseball and every other sport that Carolina has, even Olympic sports. And I want to say we've got 14 people on YouTube, but that video only has 5 likes so far. The live does. Do me a favor, if you're tapped in right now on the Hills on Franklin UNC and Omaha preview over on YouTube. Like that video for us. It goes a long way. Let's go ahead and get to our key players.
Hey, hold on real quick.
Yep.
Throw this comment from Big K up on the screen. This is why I love when we do a live show as opposed to pre-recorded, because I find out things that, look, I spend a few hours each week doing research, but I find things through the chat that I didn't even know. Only 14 homers hit by all 8 teams in Omaha last year. Again, that for and really, I mean, Ole Miss has good pitching. Carolina has good pitching, obviously. West Virginia has really good pitching. So we could see some low-scoring games on this left side of the bracket this weekend.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. Big K knows this stuff. Only 14 homers hit in Omaha last year. So all those SEC tiny ballparks, you know, they're gonna have to swing extra hard to get some homers in, right?
Yeah, gotta have that gap power, that Owen Hall gap power,
that Owen Hall gap power, like I have.
That Judy power.
Crazy comment, bro. Crazy. All right, you want Judd, which is a heck of a baseball name, by the way, or Walker? Which one do you want to go with first? We got our key players now that we want to give you for Ole Miss. If this is your first episode tuning in throughout Carolina baseball season, that's good. We welcome you. What we do here at Hills on Diamond, we're a little bit different than everybody. We give you names from the opposing team that we feel like you should know, right? Yeah. These guys are a difference maker, right? So we got 2 here. Let's go with Judd Uttermark.
I think it's Utermark.
Utermark.
I think.
Judd Utermark, third baseman. Andrew, what you got? Second team all ACC here.
SEC.
What did I say? ACC?
ACC. It's habit. It's okay. It's habit.
SEC. Second team all SEC.
Yeah. So, yeah, Judd Utermark, 312 batting average, 426 on base percentage. I said earlier that their highest batting average on the team is 312. So that's our guy Judd here. 22 homers on the season, 12 doubles. He is 80 strikeouts to 40 walks. So he definitely strikes out more than you would like. Got a little bit of speed, 11 stolen bases. D1 Baseball, they put out, it's either weekly or every other week, they put out kind of their top 5 by position for the upcoming draft. And D1 Baseball has him as the 5th best third baseman in the country heading into the 2026 baseball draft. And I didn't realize this, but Judd Utermark is a Charlotte native. He went to Charlotte Christian High School. So I hate that he is at Ole Miss and not in Chapel Hill. But hey, some guys just want to get out of state. So I can't knock it.
Also, the freshman national pitcher of the year is from North Carolina as well, there for Texas, right?
Yeah. Cozart. Yeah. Cozart from Texas, who got like you said, freshman pitcher of the year with Caden. Yeah, with Caden Glauber. I was shocked. When I was looking at because when I first saw that, right, my first thought was, how does Caden Glauber, how is he sharing this title? Caden Glauber should be no co, right? So I looked up Cozart's stats. He's legit. Like I get now why there's a co. They're sharing this title, but yeah, he's from Wesleyan, which is in High Point.
I get it, but didn't he have double the amount of work, Caden Glauber?
I think yeah. Glauber definitely pitched more innings. I looked up that. I don't remember exactly how many Cozart had, but I know Glauber was significantly higher when it came to usage.
Okay.
Yeah, but both are fantastic.
Good. This is so true too.
Yeah. Rev was saying
Cozart looks 40,
and then you compare that to Glauber, who, I mean, he looks like he's potentially in like a 13U baseball game. When you see him out there, him and Walker, both very young looking, which may not be a good thing now, but when you're 35, 40 years old, you want to be younger looking. So I say that as a compliment.
Okay. If you say so.
Yeah. But hey, I put out a tweet last night. These guys from North Carolina, Utermark here, Cozart for Texas, Carolina, and all their North Carolina guys. Man, look. North Carolina may be, we talk about it being a basketball state and all the talent in high school that North Carolina puts out. we put out a ton of baseball talent too. Whether or not they go to Carolina, put out a I see the comment, put out a lot of talent. Hey, so quick side note, right? So I as part of what I teach, I'm a teacher. As part of what I teach, I do CPR. And so my 8th graders, they get licensed. It's a graduation requirement. They get taught CPR. They do the test on the mannequin, and they're CPR certified by the time they get done with my class. And I remember last year we were walking out, and one of my 8th graders goes, Coach Forrest, as old as you look, we might be doing this CPR on you next.
Bro.
Like, did I really deserve that? I mean, I know I got some gray in my beard, but like, I'm only in my 30s. Like, I don't think I deserve that.
Bro, my man trying to fry you.
Yeah, that hurt me to the core.
All right. Let's go. Walker Hooks here. Left-handed pitcher, elite closer. 3-1 on the year though for a closer. 2.43 ERA, 61 Ks, 11 walks, 9.9 strikeouts per 9 innings. I think you told me too on the phone, Andrew, you believe this might be the best closer in college baseball.
I think he may be. College baseball is weird. It's not like majors where you have one pretty much set closer. As a Mets fan for years, I watched Edwin Diaz as the closer. Now he's with the Dodgers, right? College baseball, it fluctuates. So there's not many guys that come in and he's known as your closer. He's just another reliever. But Hooks is primarily, at least the second half of the season, he's been Ole Miss's closer. Really good. Gets guys to chase. He doesn't throw a ton in the zone, but he's got good movement on his pitches, fools a lot of guys, and they chase, a low and away. They chase outside. But that's one of Carolina's strengths. Outside of a few times here and there, Carolina does not chase a lot of pitches for the most part. So strength on strength if Hooks does, in fact, come into the game.
I mean, also, too, I know this pitcher doesn't do him justice as it relates to, like, his frame.
He's a big dude.
6'4", 265, from Mississippi, only a sophomore. That's a hoss.
I watched an interview with him yesterday, and I could not tell you what the interview was about, what they asked him, because the whole time I'm like, dude, this guy is huge. I mean, he's looking like a defensive end out there.
Massive. 6'4", 264. That's like – that would be like a pretty hefty blocking tight end.
Yeah. That's like, if you know, back in the day, Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
That's like his size. Because he was about 6'4", 6'5", 260, maybe 270. But who's Ole Miss's football coach now? I know Kiffin's over at LSU. It's one of the assistants, right?
Yeah, he's already in trouble.
Is he? I'm not surprised.
Kind of.
It's Ole Miss.
Because he was like, I mean, a lot of players are like, a lot of coaches are tampering, but he tried to tamper. He's the guy that tampered with the Clemson player, and Dabo like called him out in a press conference. And like read the text messages or whatever it was to the press conference that the coach and the assistants were having with.
Gotcha. Yeah. He needs to give Mr. Walker here a call and say, hey, if baseball doesn't work out, I've got a tight end spot for you.
Yeah. Pete Golding, Big K.
Golding. I knew once I'd hear. Yeah. Pete Golding.
Pete Golding. All right. Well, let's keep going. We're not going to go as deep, but we'll kind of want to give you some stats for West Virginia and Troy. Trevor. Wow. Sorry, Andrew. Just called you Trevor.
Okay.
Just Trevor.
I'm only going to be spending the next week, with you.
Hey, I got Patty now.
That's true.
I got to spend the week with a Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah. You'll see my Disney pajama pants. I got them.
Jesus,
they're packed up upstairs.
Country Roads is hot, Rev says. Yes, that should be the title for this segment. Low key, bro. Like, really haven't heard a lot from West Virginia this year. Now it just seems like they are everywhere because you got your guy Pat, the former punter there at West Virginia, just putting him all over their show. He went to the game there in the Supers, and the only line that he said that I cannot get out of my head, which I believe it was his first college baseball game ever. Did he say that?
I don't know. I don't watch the Pat McAfee show. I think the guy's kind of
No, bro. Come on, dog. That's my guy.
To me, I haven't watched College Game Day because he's on it now.
No.
I'm not a Pat McAfee fan. I think
this is another bad take.
Look,
Dude,
I can take him in small doses, but
he's good for sports.
It's too much. I need a good blend of both, right? The kind of the over exuberance, the excitement, kind of the craziness of McAfee, but give me like the kind of clean cut, calm personality of Kirk Herbstreit. Mix those two together, that's perfect. He's too much. He's too much on one end.
But you said you stopped watching Game Day because of that. Because of him.
I don't want
it's a mix. You just contradicted yourself, bro.
No, but he personally, like the perfect, like if he could just tone it down a few notches, it'd be perfect. Like I see his show on TV and I'm like, why are you standing up the entire time? Sit down, man.
See,
thank you. Stands.
Thank you, Big K. Might be Andrew's worst take yet. I was on board with the hot dog thing. Come on.
I'm not like I don't hate the guy. Like I think some of the stuff he says is funny, but I'm just not a big Pat McAfee fan. Good punter though. Good punter.
You don't like fun.
I do like fun. Fun and hot dogs. That's what I do.
Anyway, he's gonna be going live in Omaha on Friday at a restaurant. See, I was thinking about asking if you wanted to try to swing by.
I mean, I can chirp him from the crowd. I'll chirp. I got no problem with that. I'll give him a hard time.
He'll probably WWE you or whatever it is.
He probably would.
All right, let's talk West Virginia. Sleepy. Country Roads is hot, as in Rev. Rev said 45-15. Listen to this: 4-1 neutral sites, 13-7 in quad one games. Such a quiet season.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's interesting that we're in the same brackets. WVU Barstool tweets out Bubba Cunningham. It's like, bro, get over it. I know there's not much going on in West Virginia, beautiful state, but like, why are we still thinking about that? First, it's false that like he had influence on that. Like, come on, seriously. And also, he is not the main guy here in Chapel Hill anymore. It's Steve Newmark.
Move on.
So you're tweeting the wrong picture. Get your facts straight.
Yeah. Go listen to John Denver Country Roads a little bit more.
Yeah.
It'll calm you down. Greatest song of all time.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
See, anyway, that's something we agree on.
Yeah. You said greatest. I said one of. I feel like you and I need our own podcast that's not
baseball related, just like pop culture, life.
Yeah. I could be great takes. You could be bad takes.
Yeah. We come up with some creative name, that plays on that.
Yeah, like I just said, like I give good takes and you continuously give bad.
The good with the bad. I think that's a perfect name.
Like you don't like Duke's mayonnaise.
Duke's mayonnaise is terrible.
That's so wrong.
Heinz or Hellman's. Heinz or Hellman's. Yeah. South Carolina mustard-based sauces is superior to any of the other North Carolina types.
All right,
Texas barbecue. All right, sorry, back on track.
Talk to me about West Virginia. What we got?
Yeah, so again, similar to Carolina in the fact that they don't hit for a lot of power, right? But they just get on base. They are 32nd in the country in on-base percentage at 410. They're 25th in the country in batting average at 307. Slugging, 76 in the country, so a bit farther down. And again, just like UNC, pitching is their calling card. They have the 7th best ERA in the country. That's at 3.79. 11th best whip. They leave the 11th, or they strand the 11th most runners on base. And they're 31st in strikeout to walk ratio. So just like Carolina, may not have a lot of power, but they find ways to get on base. They walk a lot, patient at the plate. And then pitching is their kind of, that's what they're known for. They have the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year in Max Yell, and they have another first-team pitcher in Chanson Cole. So just like Carolina with DeCaro, Lynch, Glauber, McDuffie, right? They've got a really good pitching staff too.
Andrew, let me ask you about this. West Virginia coming from the Big Ten. How do you feel
12.
like Big 12? Sorry, Big 12. How do you feel like their level of competition has been, and has that, if it's low, has that contributed? Of course, that's contributed to their overall and Quad 1 rankings, but how do you think that matches up compared to like competition that Carolina's faced throughout the year?
Yeah. I would have said, if you'd asked me this question last week, I would have said it plays a big role. But then we saw USC, Big Ten baseball, which I think is a step below the Big 12. And they gave Carolina really all they could handle. So I think I know, SEC and ACC are tops when it comes to baseball, even though the ACC is not having, outside of UNC, the best tournament. We're the only team left. But I do think Big 12 baseball is solid. I mean, you've got Kansas in there. They were a host. You've got, obviously, West Virginia. They're a host. You've got some solid baseball teams in the Big 12. I think it's a step above the Big 10. So, is it maybe a tad bit skewed compared to a record of or the stats that Carolina has? Maybe a bit, but I think come this weekend, it doesn't matter what conference you're from. These are some of the best and hottest teams in the country. Even a team like Troy from the Sun Belt, you got to bring your A game or you're going to go home.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, I would like to see West Virginia up against a little bit some of the SEC pitching, right? And then also like Carolina's pitching. But when it's all said and done, if Country Roads, if West Virginia takes home and hoists that trophy at the end of the game right there or at the end of the tournament, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. And honestly, again, obviously, Carolina's who I want to win it the most. But if you ask me what team would you be okay with winning it if it couldn't be UNC, I'd be okay with West Virginia. They're a likable team. I will say, I ran it. We had some run-ins with West Virginia fans years ago at the Meineke Car Care Bowl down in Charlotte when Geno Smith was quarterback. Had some bad interactions with West Virginia fans, but I got family from my grandma's from West Virginia. So I got a little love for the state of West Virginia in my heart. So if Carolina can't win it, give me the Mountaineers.
Let's see here. Who's in bracket 2? Alabama, Georgia,
Texas, and Oklahoma.
Okay.
And Georgia and Texas play. They play first game, right? Or they play each other first. And I think whoever wins that game is who's going to come out of that right side. Because I think Texas, and in no particular order, Texas, Georgia, UNC are the three best teams in the field.
I don't want Georgia to win it. If obviously, like you said, very boldly, obviously I want Carolina to win it. Yeah. But if Carolina doesn't win it, I don't want Georgia to win it because I don't want them to have all the nice things, right?
Football,
outside of a lot of speeding tickets and stuff, kind of like Carolina football's been trending lately. At least they're winning in football, right? I don't want them to have all that nice stuff. I don't want Alabama to have all the nice stuff. I wouldn't mind Texas if I had to choose an SEC team, but out of that bracket, my number one getting out of that, I would hope to see Oklahoma. I don't think it happens, but I would want Oklahoma over all those other teams.
See, I can't, my family being from Texas, even though I'm a UNC fan and not necessarily a Texas fan, I can't pull for Oklahoma just because I have Texas roots. So give me the Longhorns, despite such a awful home field there they have in Austin.
And honestly, I don't know if I want anybody out of our bracket because that means we're not playing for the chip.
That's true. That's fair.
At least give us the chip. Give us the trophy. I want the trophy too, obviously. But I definitely want to make it to the national champion or the final series there.
Yeah. And again, no knock on Troy, but my hope for Friday is that the 1:00 game, which I guess that's noon there in Omaha. I think maybe. But Give me Troy to upset West Virginia. Obviously, Carolina beats Ole Miss, and then let Carolina beat Troy on Sunday, and Carolina sitting in the driver's seat going into next week. I see Maddie said no Texas. I'm assuming is that your husband, Maddie? I saw you post a picture, and you had as leaving your wedding. I'm assuming you had the Carolina jersey on, he had the Texas jersey on. So you're a house divided.
Yep. Also,
that was a tough picture. That was cool.
Also, congrats on getting married. It's big stuff. All right, do we cover anything West Virginia we need to cover?
No, just really good pitching, and they get on base a lot. Very similar to Carolina.
All right, let's go Troy. 38-30, 6-4 neutral, 10-14 in quad one games.
Yeah, so Troy, again, the Cinderella story of this tournament. They were just like Ole Miss back in 2022. Troy was one of the last 4 teams in, and here they are in Omaha. So Cinderella stories are not just a basketball thing. But you look at the stats, nothing really blows you away. So right now, they're just playing really good, sound baseball. They're 88th nationally in runs per game, 68th nationally in batting average, 63rd in OBP. ERA, their pitching is out of the 4 teams on the left side of the bracket. Their pitching is definitely the weakest. They have the 117th best ERA, 111th in WHIP, 67th in strikeouts per 9, and strikeouts to walk ratio, they're 69th in the country. So this is a team that, again, you look at the stats, nothing blows you away, but they're just playing really, really good baseball right now. And sometimes that's the scariest team to face.
Yep.
And they do have, looking at, we don't have graphics for them, but I do have kind of key players for each team. Again, West Virginia, it's the 2 pitchers. Mm-hmm. For Troy, it is their catcher, Jimmy Janicki, Sunbelt Player of the Year, which, hey, Sunbelt baseball, I know it's not really considered P4, but, man, Sunbelt baseball is legit. You've got Troy, you've got Coastal in there.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sunbelt's got some good teams. But Janicki, 341 batting average, 413 OBP, 19 bombs on the year, 24 doubles, 85 RBIs. So this is a guy who he ranks first in the Sun Belt in total bases and RBIs and homers, and he's second in the conference in hits, doubles, and slugging percentage. So definitely their scariest hitter in that lineup.
Let's talk about this right here. Maddie, or not talk about it, just mention it. Troy did split a series with Bama this year. Great point by Maddie. Big K for sure. All Cinderella stories must come to an end. Rev says heels or no one, y'all. Someone's got to win it,
for sure. For sure.
Yep. Let's touch on this very briefly. 2 or 3 minutes. Thoughts on South Carolina baseball coach?
I think it's a great hire.
Yeah, I was about to say I think it's a home run hire. No pun. I guess a pun intended.
I hate it for Coastal fans. Again, Coastal's just like ECU, not power 4, but they are. I mean, you think of Coastal, you think baseball, right? Mm-hmm. You think of ECU, you think baseball. Just great fan bases, great baseball cultures. So I hate it. That was a team. They won it all in 2016. They were runners up to LSU last year. But I feel like Coastal has the culture where even though they're not power 4, that's going to be a job that's really enticing to a lot of people. I'm hearing, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but Mississippi State's old coach is a name I'm hearing thrown out there. But I think Schnall is a great pickup for South Carolina. I think he'll have them, unfortunately, back in hosting contention in maybe 3 years.
Yeah. Also, I think he went to Coastal too, right? As a player.
Yeah, he's Coastal alum.
Yeah, I hate that, man. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. I've seen a lot of fans kind of say, "Oh, I hope he crashes and burns," and that type of stuff. And I'm trying to put myself in that situation. And I know Forbes didn't go to school at Carolina, right?
Yeah.
But I would be crushed if Forbes left.
Oh, I'd be so upset.
Definitely if people went to South Carolina, not only because it's we're better than them, like North Carolina is better in everything in them, even barbecue, because our state is literally our state geographically is literally above them. You know what I'm saying? So I was just joking around.
They did give us Caden Glauber, so I'm not going to hate on him too much.
Yes, South Carolina is a great state, right? Okay, but
the roads are terrible.
Yes, I cycled from Greenville, North Carolina to Myrtle Beach one time. Did it
Dude, the
2 days.
road as soon
In
as you
2
cross the
days.
border, that's a long trek.
Rode my bicycle from Greenville, North Carolina to Myrtle Beach. It was the roads once I crossed it was
It's terrible.
hell.
Yeah.
But I've seen them giving him so much hell, and that I mean he went from what annual 500 to what 1.2, 1.3 a year.
Yeah. And I read that South Carolina is willing to offer somebody up to 2 plus incentives. Whether it's true or not, but yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
definitely
I
a
mean,
big payday.
Okay, if you read that and that's what he settled on, then you need to get a new agent.
Yeah. If I heard you say 2 or that the rumor was 2, I'm going in asking like 2, 3. And then we'll work our way down to 2.
Yeah. I mean, also South Carolina, 8 year whatever negotiators are probably saying like, look, you were making 5 something, just last year.
So just take what we're giving
I
you.
can't 100% times your, percent increase. Your
I'll
salary.
say this too. I know I know money talks, but personally, I have to look at like quality of life. And what I mean by that is, do I really want to live in Columbia, South Carolina? I don't think Columbia is that nice of a city. There is a really nice national park near Columbia, Congaree National Park. But other than that, Columbia is nothing special. Again, I know Conway's near Myrtle Beach.
$700 more $1,000 to live.
But man, look,
in Columbia.
Where middle of the state where it's hot and humid, or at the beach in Conway, I'm going back to coastal and saying, hey, get me to 900,000.
Think about how many more like hot dogs you could buy with that type of money.
But do I want to eat a hot dog in Columbia where it's hot and humid and muggy, or eat a hot dog on the beach in Conway? That's the real question.
So you're telling $700,000 though?
I mean, I'm going to coastal and saying, hey, I'm not expecting you to match their offer. 200,000 more, and I'm staying here. It's my alma mater. I'm living at the beach. Great baseball culture and fan base.
Right.
I would have stayed at coastal. Just give me a little bit more money.
I'm not saying I'm going to have the last word or want the last word. You can chime back in if you want. But last thing I would say, you also got to look at it from a standpoint of he's really has that opportunity to do that type of money. No, so a lot of people, 1.2 million is life-changing money, but if you don't manage it right, it's not.
Yeah.
Right. And I would hope he would have the right people around him, like investments. Right. This is kind of like my UNC MBA or just common sense coming out. Right. Like having the right people around to help him manage it and grow it throughout the years, he could greatly increase the betterment lives of not only his kids down the road, but his grandkids.
Yeah, and you're right with that. But
we've gone so deep into this.
Regardless, it's a great hire for South Carolina. I hate it for Coastal. If it was me, I want to stay at the beach. But I get why he left his alma mater and went to Columbia. And like we told the South Carolina fans, Forbes wasn't going anywhere. And I think if any, I put out a tweet. Do I think a call was made? Yes. I think Forbes picked up the phone, or his agent picked up the phone, and a discussion was had.
Of course, you should always do that.
Yeah. But I think it was at most a play for Forbes, a smart play to go back to Carolina and say, hey, I've got this interest down there from South Carolina. I need more funding for the baseball program. And hey, maybe increase my salary a bit, because for what he's done for Carolina baseball, Forbes is underpaid.
Yeah, totally. Also, like would have to, I think, also ask like resources, like money, in NIL revenue, that type of stuff. Also, too, like when it comes to business in the business world and the sports world, like you always take the call, even if you are 100% happy, 120% happy, you always take the call, because you never know where you're going to find yourself later in life, right?
And give yourself leverage. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was like chirping at me about this or that, and I was like, "Yeah, I hope he does take the call for him or something." Like, it's leverage. It happens every day in the business world.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like the school I work at, but if a school down the road called me and said, we'll pay you $20,000 more. Look, I'm answering that call, and we're going to have a serious conversation.
Yep. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else, Andrew?
No, that's it.
All right, man. Awesome stuff. Headed to Omaha. We've been talking. Let us know in the comments. We got 434 people tapped in. We thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Topping in tonight, 137. Not 137. An hour and 37 into this show already. Man, dude, we're just so thankful. Also, while we are in Omaha, would you like to see podcast? Right, like after the game, things like that. Let us know because we're thinking about it. I just need to know. If y'all don't, I'm not going to bring my podcasting gear. And
hey, you're flying, so that's a checked bag, right?
Yeah, I'm checking the bag anyway.
Okay.
1 second. I am looking at something.
I never know. Like, are you guys tired of hearing us talk? I'm
Okay.
assuming. I hope not. But
let's see here. Rev said, well, of course. Big K said 100% we would. Maddie says post game. Yes, post game, but it will be like an hour and a half to 2 hours afterwards because our hotel is 45 minutes away from the ballpark because everything is crazy expensive.
yeah.
But anyway, Jeff Blackwood texted me this, and he also put it in here. He said, check your phone, Chris. This is what I was talking about earlier. He said, credit Jeff Blackwood tweeted this, okay, 2 days ago. Credit must be given to Owen Hall's dad for the uptick in whole crowd noise and energy in the later innings. I've met and talked with him several times this season. He walked all the way over to my section and asked us to figure out how we could get more energy in the Bosch. We figured out a way to change up what we normally do. It obviously worked. Every single Carolina fan made it happen. Go Heels.
Love it. Love it. Hey, I'm glad you brought up Owen Hall, or I guess Jeff brought up Owen Hall. I read a tweet today. I don't remember who it's from. I'm sorry. I can't give you credit. But he's the only player College World Series field with an on-base percentage above 500. I think he's at 505. And I don't think fans know he's had a really good season if you follow Carolina baseball. But I don't think fans realize just how special of a season he's had. He's got 81 RBIs, which is tied for third all-time. Second is 83, so he'll more than likely at least tie, if not pass that, in Omaha. And first all-time is Colin Moran back in 2013 with 91. So, hey, if he just has an all-out heck of a performance this week in Omaha, he could potentially go down as the single-season all-times RBI leader in Carolina history. So, Owen Hall is having a fantastic year.
Which also, I think this is a good point that Riff said. Imagine if he had a better Feb, because it took him a little bit of time to get his game transition over.
It took about 4 weeks. It took about a full month for him to really, he was batting well into the hundreds there for a while.
Hold on, we have it in. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, it's still in the notes.
This is what you get at Hills on Franklin. Owen Hall, post the Lemoyne series, was batting 250. 473 slugging percentage. That's slugging percentage, right?
Yeah. No, that's OBP.
OBP, on base percentage. So 250, 473. Yeah. Post BC hitting 355, 464 on base percentage. Post Georgia Tech 390, 489. Post State 370, 486.
And I'll say this, that post Lemoyne, I think he had a really good series against Lemoyne, and he jumped like 80 points. Before that Lemoyne series, he was well below 200. So, I mean, Rev spot on with that. This is a guy that if he had just a halfway decent February, we're talking, potentially 100 RBIs on the season.
I'm looking real quick. Jake Schaffner also went from 467, 331, 337, 354 batting average. Coop went 188, 237, 248, 273.
Yep.
And then Gavin has just been, there's not really been an up or down there. It's just been 271, 279, 272, 273.
Yeah, and Winslow's been pretty consistent too. He was at 366 post Lemoyne, but he's been, I think it's dropped a little bit since state. I know he struggled some this past weekend outside of that big hit in game 3, but he's been flirting right around 300 for most of the season.
Yep. Eric Paulson's dropped a little bit, and Colin Heineck, which Colin Heineck's actually had some big hits.
Oh, he's been, I think, out of all the guys outside of Hull, I think Heineck's been the most clutch guy this season when it comes to needing that big hit.
Trevor said, I believe that was Isaac that put out that stat.
It probably was. That seems like either him or Pat James. One of those two guys have those crazy stats they throw out.
TJ Strickland says, what's up, y'all? I think Winslow has a big Omaha, honestly. Gonna need it.
Yep.
Gonna need it. Trevor, good to see you, my guy. Trevor's my guy. Good to see Troy here. Look, football guys supporting the baseball guys.
Yeah. Gave Trevor a big bear hug after the walk-off.
All right. Let's see here. DQ or DK. DK says, half of our lineup is like O'Neal Cruz. You can hit the ball really hard, but you don't know how to take a pitch.
I'll fight back on that a little bit.
I think that's kind of like how we felt like post USC a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I said it earlier. They get in these moments that kind of last 2 to 3 games. We saw it against Clemson. We saw it against USC, where they are pressing a bit, and you can see it. They're swinging for the fences. They're getting under balls, popping a lot of balls up. But I think when this team is at its best is when they're taking pitches, working counts, fouling pitches off, getting pitch counts up for opposing pitchers. That's when this team is at its best. So hopefully that kind of pressing was a USC thing. They're going to get back on track this week in Omaha.
Also, Trevor said, love the player interview. Trevor's been tapped in the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, last thing. Give us the rundown. You and Patty, you and your famous mom, Carolina baseball mom, crying tears of joy.
Yep.
You're driving. I'm flying. Sorry to be bougie, but give us the rundown, man. You said last night. This is why we should have our separate pod. And like Troy, Trevor, we've all talked about it. We should have like just a show on Hills on Franklin that's like goes off the rails. It's not just Carolina sports. We just talk crap, chop it up, talk crap to each other. Because like last night you said, send me the address of the hotel. I have to map it out. And I texted you back. I was like, brother, are you literally using a paper map?
No, I like to go to Google Maps or whatever it is on the iPhone and just see kind of like where we're going through. So it's taking us through Rev's, neck of the woods down there in Ohio, through West Virginia. So I may pick up a couple West Virginia fans on the way there. And then it's taking us, I think we go right through Dayton, which I've been there once. Dayton's a cool little city, going through Indianapolis. And so, I just wanted to kind of see where we're going.
Okay.
And then,
I didn't know. I was just like,
I'll say this too. I haven't told you this yet. And look, we'll talk because we have days off. That's the nice thing about the College World Series is you don't play every day like a regional or a super regional, right? And so I was looking at things to do, and I was doing some research on are there any theme parks in the area because I'm a theme park guy.
Killer zoo, bro.
I heard, so I think we may have to go to the zoo.
Largest inside rainforest in America.
Sweet.
I think somebody said maybe in the world, but I don't know. In Omaha.
Hey, who would have thought Asheboro has one of the best zoos? And it's one of the best ones in the country.
One of the largest swamps, indoor swamps. See, Maddie says best zoo ever.
We need to make this happen.
But we definitely got to do a podcast on the day off, right?
Yeah.
Definitely got to do it. If the hotel, the only thing that's going to keep us doing podcasts that are not live is the internet speed. Because you got to have a certain threshold that you got to hit to be able to do live shows.
I can bring my Ethernet cord. We can make it work. I'll pack it up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's something else. I'm drawing a blank. Bosch Brothers on Twitter told me I had to try it. I think it's called like a Renza. I don't know what it is. It almost
Desert Dome.
Desert Dome. Okay.
I sent you the video. You didn't even watch the video I sent you yet.
You did. Look, I was working today and I was trying to finish the notes. My daughter was at work with me today. I was trying to watch her. So I haven't watched it. I need to go back and watch that video.
You got 18 hours to watch it.
No, I got plenty of time.
All right. Big K says, just tell them you're the Chris Smith with Hills on Franklin, and they will hook you up with high-speed internet. Need it. They know who we are coming for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm so bougie that I almost called the hotels before we booked it to ask them to run us internet speed test.
Why do I feel like that's something you would definitely
But
do?
I was like, nah, that's too much.
Thank you for listening to Heels on Franklin. If this episode hit the mark, do us a favor, like it, drop a comment, and share it with a friend. That kind of support keeps the podcast rolling. You can find all episodes on the Heels on Franklin YouTube channel and on Spotify, so whether you like watching or listening, we've got you covered. We will see you next time.